Director, my challenge for you this season. Who might you become by trying on something new? What goal, what habit, what amazing thing could you try on that helps you create the next version of you and step into phenomenal success? Welcome to the Pivot with Passion podcast. Hi, I'm Penny Casselman. I believe everyone is deserving of a phenomenal life. Regardless of where you came from, life is what you make of it. And when you learn to pivot with passion, your world explodes with opportunities. Go grab your favorite beverage and let's shake things up as we explore how to pivot with passion. Welcome back to another episode of Pivot with Passion. That's right, I'm your host, Penny Dreadful. What are we celebrating? I am celebrating that my Halloween costume is on point this year. I am so excited. My outfit is hanging up so that it does not wrinkle. The wig has been purchased. The accessories are on a shelf, and my shoe game is strong. I have to confess, Halloween is my favorite holiday of the year. I love Halloween. I always have. I remember dressing up, and it was so much fun to walk around with other kids in the neighborhood, get gobs of candy, get told how cute we were and how great our costumes were, and then go home and enjoy all of the sweetness of our spoils for the evening. However, there was a stretch where I did not dress up. Not because I didn't want to. It was because I was afraid of what people might think. This was in my 20s, and I didn't want people to look at me and think I looked silly. I didn't want my costume to fall flat and have no one understand who I was. And certainly, I did not want to pass anyone at a party who would roll their eyes. Have you ever had that experience where you were tentative to really go full out for Halloween because you were afraid of what people might think? Somewhere along the way, I realized that fear of being judged by other people, it wasn't protecting me from anything. It was limiting me. So in my early 30s, I decided to throw caution to the wind, and I went full force back into dressing up for Halloween. So much so that I started to host a Halloween party that became quite epic in my circle of friends, to the point where I had accumulated 13 plastic tubs full of decorations for my house and one tub exclusively to hold past costumes. I went all in at that point. I started buying wigs. I had no fear of crazy makeup. And the more outlandish and fun the outfit, the better I felt showing up. And that reminded me what it felt like to play. And every Halloween since, I have looked forward to seeing who I might become for that evening. Director, here's the truth. Life gives us endless opportunities to try on new versions of ourselves if we're brave enough to play along. Let me share what I just said again. Life gives us endless opportunities to try on new versions of ourselves if we are brave enough to play along. If you think back to when we were kids, we tried on costumes, accents, personas without hesitation. It was part of our play environment. We didn't worry about judgment. We were too busy pretending to be a teacher or an astronaut or a superhero or a pop star. But as adults, did we not start editing ourselves. We traded curiosity, fun for conformity and sameness. And as we adopted that costume of, quote, fine, we somehow forgot to experiment. For me, that was at least a decade of my life where I kept telling myself, it's fine. It's fine. Life is fine, even though it doesn't look exactly the way I had envisioned. I had forgotten how to experiment, how to try it on and see how something feels before making an ultimate judgment. When this episode drops, we will be 2 days away from the infamous Halloween. And what a great metaphor that costumes can be a lot like new habits, new goals, new choices. Because the first time you try on a new habit or go after a new goal or make a choice that you've never selected before, it might feel awkward. Maybe it's unfamiliar. Maybe it makes you nervous because it's so different from what you've always, quote, worn in the past. But sometimes that's the exact discomfort we need in order to grow. When you try something new, i.e., speak up in a meeting, take a risk, and go after that big dream you've been thinking of. Perhaps you just want to start a new routine. You're trying on new identity costumes. And here's the thing, you don't have to wear it forever. You're simply exploring who you could be. And inside high performance coaching, when I talk to my clients, that's one of the big opportunities we explore, because often it's not the tactical things that you need to accomplish in order to feel more successful, create the life you've been dreaming of. The better question we often ask is, who do you need to become in order to achieve those big, phenomenal things that you want to go after in your life? As we continue our conversation today, think about Halloween. Think about those costumes in the past that you've tried on and made you feel unstoppable holding that plastic pumpkin knocking on doors. Because life, like Halloween, is all about stepping out of your comfort zone, trying on something new, and exploring who you could be, if only for a moment. It's time for a clarity cocktail. Here is a great quote from George Bernard Shaw. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. Isn't that the ultimate costume change? Every new challenge, new choice, or chapter in our lives gives us a chance to create ourselves again, to try on a new way of being and see what fits. Somewhere along the way, as we are forced into the mold that society gives us as adults, we can discard the fun. We can discard the experimentation, the playfulness of our youth when we would play around in costumes and pretend we were other things. Yet today, I am passionate about reminding you, director, that every day you have a choice. You have a choice how you greet the day. You have a choice when you are faced with adversity or an unexpected circumstance, how you respond. And those small shifts, those small opportunities that you have can have you putting on an amazing costume that supports your growth or keep you hiding and worrying about what other people think. The quote again from George Bernard Shaw, life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. And now, back to the episode. Cheers. Circling back to this idea of trying it on, is there power in playing with possibility? Too many of us stop experimenting because of fear. Fear of looking foolish, fear of failing, fear of what other people will think. But that fear is like staying home on Halloween with the porch light off and missing out on all the fun and all of the candy that people are passing out. When we let our fear make the choice for us, we rob ourselves from the sweetness and full experience of life. I want to offer now 4 try it on strategies that high performers use to help them move forward and achieve success. The first one, experiment without expectation. You don't have to be great at something new. Go listen to some of my early podcasts. You will see I experimented because I had no idea what I was doing. I definitely had a different voice when I recorded, a different energy. However, through experimentation, through trying new things on, I have found my stride. And by experimenting without expectation, I was able to get feedback, learn quickly, and make new choices. You simply have to be willing to give yourself permission to explore without attaching perfection to it. Number 2, notice how it feels. Remember, a costume is something you try. If it fits, keep showing up and wearing it. If you notice it doesn't feel right, that's your permission slip to take a beat and try something else. Because that feedback you're getting and how you feel, that's data. That is not failure. Number 3, cheer for the bold. Instead of comparing your, quote, costume to someone else's, let their courage instead inspire you. Admire what they've done, but don't compete. Remember, costumes do have an element of fun and experimentation. And like Halloween, life should have those same opportunities when you try something new. And number 4, commit to fun. If your goal or new direction feels heavy, boring, laborious, you will never sustain it. You see, fun is fuel. Don't we all want to do more things that are fun? And when we find them, sometimes we wish they never stop. So keep it playful and light, especially when you are growing and becoming someone new. In recap, here are those 4 try it on strategies for you this season as you step into your high performer costume. 1, experiment without expectation. 2, notice how it feels. 3, cheer for the bold. And 4, commit to fun. All of these strategies will help you find and step into the person you need to become in order to reach that next level of success in your life. Director, here is your invitation this week. Try something new, big or small. Wear the metaphorical wig. Step into a new role. Speak with more confidence. Start that idea that's been, dare I say, haunting you. You might surprise yourself. Remember, the best costume you can ever wear is the one that brings you closer to who you want to become. Friend, thanks for listening to this episode of Pivot with Passion. If you've been feeling stuck, exhausted, or frustrated, this is your permission slip to go grab a red marker and claim the life you desire and deserve. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend, and then hop over to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts. Because my goal is to put a red marker in everyone's hand, and I need your help to spread the word and make that happen. Until the next episode, go grab a red marker, get excited for your future, and make your first move to pivot with passion.